feel like we need to change our intro.
No way. That's solid.
No, you
What are
like our
talking
intro?
about? No,
I don't know. I feel like we need something a little
that
catchier.
intro is the balls.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast, episode 103. And this week, we've got a very special guest. Actually, before I do get to our special guests, hello to my Aka over here.
Aka, hi.
Aka,
guys.
how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm going to apologize. I'm already getting grief about the tank top. Listen, I know it's super douchey. I get it, guys. But it's hot as balls here right now in Ontario. So you guys are going to have to suffer through the tank top because I'm not willing to suffer through an hour and a half of chatting and not have some cooling type of. I usually do suffer for you guys, but today I was like, nope, I'm already wearing this. They're getting the tank top. I'm sorry it looks douchey. You guys are going to have to put up with it. If we drop viewers because of it, it's on you.
Yeah, it's still very, very hot. I mean, the sun's been down now here for a bit now, and it's still actually. I say that, but sun's not actually down at all. That's why it's still so freaking hot.
That's all I'm saying.
Down here, I don't know if it's as hot in Edmonton as it is over here. Is it Edmonton or Winnipeg?
Winnipeg.
You're in Winnipeg. Oh, in the Winterpeg.
It's a bit colder the last couple of days. I did a Halloween on the weekend, and it was 34 though. It had some temps.
Yeah, that's the kind of weather we were having here this weekend as well. Mr. Kid Remington joining us officially for the first time on the podcast.
How about that?
On the podcast. We've had him featured on the live from the con floor twice now, 2 years in a row. Same bat time, same bat channel, but it's the first time we've managed to snag him for the podcast itself here. So
that's right. I never thought this would have ever happened, like just with the connotations of logistics for myself. But why not, right? Let's get nuts.
Hey, there you go. And we appreciate you taking the time to hang out with these crazy nerds. There you go.
Anytime.
What's in that glass over there, sir? I'm just curious. What are we drinking this evening, Mr. JS?
Oh, me?
Yeah. Oh, who?
I'm drinking Gatorade. What are you talking about?
That's not what you was just. What's in your TARDIS cup, sir?
It's also Gatorade
mixed with.
I mean, can I say? Can I?
Yeah. What do you mean? Can you say
like this? Like we haven't even gotten into the show, and you already want me to like tell people that I'm boozing up here?
Yes, a little bit.
They should be paying for their time if it's a brand name.
Honesty is the best policy. Yeah,
I will not say a brand name, but yes,
I
am. It's a little bit of vodka in my Gatorade. Yes, staying hydrated. And
I watched JS taking drinks from drinks he was mixing over the Fan Expo weekend, and each time he took a drink, it was like. So I don't think there's a little bit of vodka in there, sir. I'm surprised.
Over the weekend there wasn't.
Mostly vodka. I think you just like held the Gatorade bottle next to it and then just put it back down again. I don't think any Gatorade actually made it into the cup. So
if I close my eyes, I'm back in that dingy old ballroom.
Right?
Yeah. I mean. We ranted a little bit about it last week, and I feel like you being in that room with us, I want to talk about it a little bit again. I don't want to spend the whole show talking about it, but I know your experience was a little bit different than ours.
Yeah,
you guys actually had great success.
We raked.
I mean, you guys, completed Series 4 of your Can Cosplay Cards, and you. What, third into Series 5 already?
Well, 5 we completed, and 6
5 into 6.
Oh, well, there you go. So,
and a couple cons to come up here in the next couple weeks. So hopefully we can put the finishing touches on both of those, and then we can be like Guns N' Roses and release like a blue and purple set and then a yellow and red set together on the same day. Use your conlusions 5 and 6.
So, Kid, maybe you could take the opportunity to maybe tell the audience a little bit about what Can Cosplay Cards is, and maybe that can lead into a little bit of your story, right? Because I've heard your story, but I want everybody else to hear the story.
Well, Can Cosplay Cards started off as a joke in a hotel room, and there's a guy, Stoosh Cosplay, out in BC, and he's one of my best pals in the whole world, and it sucks that he lives so far away from Winnipeg, but that's the way it goes when you start going to conventions and meeting, other versions of yourself. And we started the joking about we need to make cosplay cards for our characters. We had been named as guests for Calgary Expo. They had, for whatever reason, hired, I guess it was about 12 female cosplayers, and the floor manager at the time was like, well, we need some male representation here. So Stoosh and I got the nod, to kind of come in, and actually our other friend Spencer as well. And we wanted to make the most of it. We were like, we kind of got cerebral on it. And that's when the card idea started up. And Stoosh put the mock-up of kind of the old Marvel cards. And it was like, well, then you start think tanking as you guys would do, as like, can't use actual character names only on a card. You don't want to use people's last names unless they're totally okay with it. You got to change your design up a little bit. And then we started doing signups just to kind of see, like, we were trying everyone to kind of prove the idea wrong and say, you guys are a bunch of idiots. And besides you guys being idiots, we don't like your card idea. So we were okay being idiots, but the card idea just kind of wouldn't go away. People kind of prepaid us the first year, and then we actually got together and got the stuff. I think it was fall of 2019. It was for Edmonton. We got to release the set, and it went over like gangbusters, like way better than I thought it would. And from there, it just kind of has kept going. Right.
Clearly, we've got a bunch of guys in the chat already. Kareem, who we had on the podcast 2 episodes ago, looks like a great idea. I'm excited for mine. He clearly signed up for one.
Right
Keith L, who was there a lot of the time as Superman. He's looking forward to his card. Peter Jarvis saying same. I also signed up. So
yes.
And Canadian Comic Cutie, who's working the booth for most of the time that we were there at Fan Expo, saying the cards are beyond amazing.
Yep.
So. Megan Avery, though, saying I'm sleeping in these. I need to get mine done. I slept on it for a year, even though I was like, this is best. And we were like cross promoting it all the time. And I finally paid Kid my $5 over the weekend. And I just got to submit him pictures and bio and all that jazz and get that going. But
it's staggeringly scary how many people are still sleeping on it, that I've heard them for, it's 2023 right now. So for 4 years. In 2019 at the priest signups, they were, I got to get you that card information. And it's one of those things though, right? It's so it's easy to do, but people see like the write-up portion, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to put here? I don't know what to put, and quirky facts, and like, when is the right time to do it? What is the right photo? Do I need tons of Photoshop? And I mean, we have some of those pictures with heavy Photoshop, and that's great. But we also have some like right off the con floor that capture just this incredible memory, and bang, and it's great. Here's another like Cuties on the screen right now, on kind of the Pride sidewalk. I don't know. I love it. I love it that every card has its own, kind of has a story, right?
Yep. Nada saying she has signed up. Natasha saying she has also signed up.
That's great.
So, yeah, you definitely got a lot of signups. So, but Megan has a great question here. Maybe you can answer her, kid. So how do you sign up when not at a con?
Yeah, I'm going to forward that off to Cutie if she could type that all in.
You're the guest, sir. Yeah. You're going to have to do the work on this one.
You can go to www.kidremington.com, and you can click on the tab called Cosplay Cards and scroll down there, and our online order form is there, and you can attach a photo, add some notes, and you can click send. And depending on some browsers or some devices, it doesn't look like it's sent, but it actually has sent. And I don't know, there's a little bit of everything. We've got one guy that has tried to apply like 6 times, and his entry has never shown up, not in junk, not anywhere. And our webmaster is like, I got nothing. So we don't know what's going on. But it is what it is. Man, and just seeing the packaging and kind of where, places you want to take the project to and where it is now, and just I don't know, we're getting, especially after Toronto, man. And maybe I'm going to sound a little like Dean Martin at a wine tasting here, but we're really happy with where it's at. And outside of, like, we were thinking of community across Canada, and how we've done now BC to Ontario and every province in between. We've done conventions, and it looks like Montreal is going to be a go. So we're going to add that on, and we're like, yeah, it harkens back to my musician days where you didn't do it on social media. You didn't do it on TikTok, and nothing against those new machinations, but you got in your car and you drove up and down the Yellowhead and the Trans-Canada, and you unloaded gear at -50, and you wrote songs, and you know what I'm saying here, guys? Like
Oh yeah,
you tasted your own blood all the time, right?
The old
So,
adage is you take $5,000 worth of equipment, you drive 500 miles to earn $50,
yeah, no, you're right. You're totally that.
right?
Trouble picking the right
For
character
the love of the
my
game.
card.
Yeah, Andrew, our friend Andrew was on Villains Day. He was the giant
Shy guy. I feel like you
Yeah.
can't not do Shy Guy now.
Well,
Yeah,
Tannis
I'm
was saying
sorry.
his Krampus is very good, so that would be a good one to pick.
You know what? His Krampus is
Yeah.
fantastic, but Shy
And his
Guy
Slender Man
was...
too. But yeah, that Shy Guy is pretty great. I mean, he knows my favorite. My favorite is his Condiment King, and I think that would make for an absolutely fantastic card, by the way. But
that's fantastic as well.
I mean,
I think,
Andrew, I meant to highlight that specifically because that's a great problem to have for, especially for someone like Andrew and some of us that have been cosplaying for a while. Like I've been at this for some time. I have like 30 different cosplays or 40 different, whatever it is now. I would probably have a hard time too, being like, yeah, I gotta like, what am I going to choose? Like, what's yes,
my problem
King
becomes more a question of finding pictures that I can actually use.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So,
too, right?
For me, a lot of the great pictures that I have that I would want to use for the card are either me and a bunch of other people, and so it's not me,
right?
Yep.
Or I don't own the pictures, so I can't. Like I don't.
You've got a couple of
bangers
of your Doc Ock, which I know is probably not the one you'd want on the card anyways, since you wore it once and you're never.
Well, I don't even know who took those pictures. You know what I mean? So
you know what? We got some for Victoria though, no?
Of Doc Ock, no, Victoria wasn't there that day.
Oh man, really?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the 3D effect because on certain cards we like to take the helmet and put it over the crest like a 3D kind of old hockey card vibe.
Nice.
And those Doc Ock arms would totally.
So you can do that?
Yep.
Cutie's ask about card 14. Do you want to let us in on what card 14 is, kid?
Absolutely not. No.
Cool. Anyways, moving on to the next. No, go ahead.
No,
God, we're gonna make her cry.
Like when we started the project, we gave we trusted everybody. We're the proverbial frog taking all these scorpion cosplayers across the river, and we got through 52 plus 14, 66 cards, and the scorpion stung, where we were magically lied to by a cosplayer that
I remember you talking about this. Yeah,
sure, the best of intentions, right? That I got the okay from the photographer, we had lunch, it's all great. And then we send her proof and she shows it on her Instagram, and the photographer's like, well, I just want to know. And yeah, because he had this voice and I could hear it when I was reading his post. I just want to know where I'm sending my lawsuit to. And it's like, yes, you can send it to me, right? And I'll open it and read it while I'm laying on my bed of cash I'm making from this project.
Yeah, that's right. At $5 a pop.
I got. It's funny because the cosplayer, and again, she tried to keep me from talking to this photographer, right? Which immediately was alarm bells.
All the bells, ding, ding, ding. That's
so I got in there and I can opened him pretty quickly, and not like a bad can open. I just mean I opened up. What's at the heart of this, right? And it was a 5-minute discussion, and it was done. And he was okay with us using the photo, but because it was such a pain in the ass, and I'm an Aries, every one of those cards, we had to get a video of everyone burning their card or destroying their card in a creative way, just to say that's it, you're done, right? And so it's kind of, it's not really, you've got a hard ban on this person. We've got the Book of Bastards here, and
the Black Book.
There's a few people on that where it's just kind of.
Now I have a goal. Now I have a goal. I have a new goal.
We're steering around those rocks, right?
Gotta get on the Book of Bastards.
Well, you haven't seen your card yet, so
that's true, because I haven't submitted anything yet. So, by the way, use the picture I submit. Don't be like coming up with some cheeky one you took yourself. I don't want that one of me
never
gesticulating at my crotch. By the way, that Cutie took. Do not use that on my card, please.
Kid, send me a message.
Don't send him nothing. There doesn't need to be. Kid, so you guys start this, it obviously blows up, and now you're essentially like, I don't know, like almost touring the nation, I guess you would say. Bringing this experience to different provinces across the country. What's sort of like I don't want to say the end game or the, like, what's the goal? Like, what are you trying to do with this other than just providing cosplayers with an outlet for something cool for them to show off? Because obviously at $5, you're not doing this to get rich.
Yep.
So what's the point at the end of the day? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
So that's a great question. Okay. First of all, so good kudos on you for digging deep and finding something like that and not
Thanks,
mailing it in.
buddy.
Right.
Appreciate it.
So
Yep. I
at
got
your
notes, man.
guests, they never say that's a really good question. They don't say that enough. They don't give you guys your props. So shame on them, right? But
Shame. Get out the bell. Where's the bell?
so okay, I have guested at 11 conventions, soon to be 12. And um, it's not cosplay is not the same shtick for everybody. Everyone's got their own way that
Mhm.
they feel it's right. Okay. There's, absolutely hardcore. I'm going to build my own costume, every stitch, every color, everything. There's other people that I'm going to get help from my friends. I'm going to get my tailor involved. I don't care about me doing it, but I need it to look perfection is my expectation, right? And then there's a hundred different versions. The gamut is massive of what everyone wants, and you look back to all your guests and what their expectations are, and it just kind of, okay, it's like a menu. He's checking off these boxes and he's getting those, and that's what he wants, right? So yeah, I realized pretty quickly that I was in a very minority of a person that was a cosplay guest, and I was more I went into it by answering these three questions in this order. And this is my arrow. And it was, is it good for the convention? Yeah. Is it good for the person going to the convention? Yeah. Is it good for me? And it'll automatically be yes if you answer the other two as yes. So that's it. I'm more experience based, memory making, and I love to use the term of making art with people. And with characters like the Joker or David Bowie in all of their connotations. I mean, in Toronto, the hundreds of people that I got to talk to all have their own versions of what they love about those characters, and you just plug into that and you help them bloom with what they love about the character. And I just happen to be the guy in the picture helping them do that. And so that was it. It was not about the rigmarole of selling prints or building an online social media presence. And that's all fantastic and that's great. But I mean, we've talked about this, that a lot of times I think when you get that, huge online presence, 100,000 followers or 50,000 or 20,000 or whatever it may be, I think sometimes you get detached about making sure that that screen is manicured and that you're hitting that stuff. And a lot of times I think your opportunities in real life kind of go to the wayside, like how to have a conversation with somebody, how to intently listen to somebody, how to make everybody feel important. If you guys noticed, like the volunteers sitting outside our doors, I strove to make them feel like they belonged and that they weren't just some end piece, because we felt like end pieces in that side room. Imagine
Mhm.
being the people that are stuck for no for an unbeknownst reason. Well, you can't come in this door. You have to go and scan over at that door, leaving a third door totally open, right? Like it's just, I don't know. And they're like, kind of like, man, they're watching everyone having fun. And like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to be the kind of the litmus test of I don't want to be the person not having fun. Right. So I don't know. I could get a lot deeper and go into people like Leonard Cohen. I could go into people like David Bowie. I could go into Chris Jericho and Jake the Snake Roberts and all these people I draw from. But really, I want to make people feel better meeting meeting me on whatever day than worse. And if that's buying them a lemonade or giving them a massage or having taken some great pictures of them kicking the ever living shit out of me, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
Kid's
dance.
got
Right?
some fantastic hands, FYI. I will attest to that.
Nice.
So are the cards then your sort of outlet? Because you mentioned like the social
Mhm.
media presence, or you mentioned like the selling prints,
Yes.
or you mentioned whatever like gets
Yes.
people to engage with whatever it is through the cosplay. So for you, it's the cards, yes?
Yes. So yeah, actually this is great. I love the way this conversation is going. So with the cards themselves, it allows me to go from being cosplay guest, one of 12 or whatever it is, to being and worrying about how I'm going to separate myself to being my own separate entity. And there's like, we're doing what is this cosplay cards? What? This has to be a shakedown. What is going on here? This guy looks like a criminal. Why is he doing this kind of stuff? But you start flipping through the book, and Cutie starts, being Cutie, and Brianna starts being Brianna, and whoever's helping us out pitches in, and you see what it's about. It's the community. And that puzzle card, like all of us help in the booth in real life, we're the puzzle card, and we're just putting it all together for everybody. And they're like, man, like hearing from people like, how could I not want to be in on this? That is what we wanted from day one. It's just people to say like, you know what? You don't need to go and have George Lucas spit on your costume to make you a 501st member, or you don't have to be a Doctor Who guy and get lost in time for 45 years. You belong. You're here at the convention. Like we have people that have cards that, the cookie lady signed up for a card. We've got like cosplay.
What's her name again?
Oh, I don't know. I'm terrible.
Oh, some of the cookies she brought around.
They were delicious. Yes.
Oh, dude.
But we have like cosplay pack mules, the people that follow cosplayers around and carry all their stuff for them, right? And you're there. That's lifeblood. That's important stuff. Try walking around a con. You guys know it in your Predators or
handlers are a big part of it. Like if you're in a big crazy cosplay without a handler, you can't function.
Yep. The cosplay.
I mean, the minute you start falling apart, that's it. You're done. You can't carry anything with you. Handlers are a massive, massive, massive part of being able to do what we do.
You're right.
Your point is well made. And I've been preaching this since I've been doing this for the last 10 years, where cosplay is for everyone. We're not here to, like you're saying, we're not a panel of judges sitting up in the citadel of Ricks and deciding who's worthy and who's not. We want to be as welcoming and as inclusive and diverse as we possibly can.
You're
right.
And
I feel like your cards help to bridge that gap between that's okay or that's not, or that's good enough or that's not. If they're coming up to you and they're like, here's my $5, this is my photo that I took, I want to get a card, they're getting a card at the end of the day, right?
Yes. No, they are getting a card. Absolutely. And I mean, the other thing is it's sort of what really lit the fire for it was, I mean, not being blackballed per se or being, painted in a bad light, but I had a Calgary Expo that really went south. And I was guesting, and I got a contract, and they outlined the size of my booth. So I wanted to kick it up a notch, and I wanted to create a jail for my character to actually sit in my booth, so I could be the Dark Knight Joker and just kind of sit there with, behind the jail, right? So we actually get to the con, and our booths are actually 2 feet, not as deep as they're supposed to be. So that's what, all of a sudden my jail was sticking out, and fire hazard and all this. And I'm the one that looks like the primo diva and all that kind of stuff. And I just, there was a community group called MacGuffin that had a big corner booth, and they're like, bring your jail.
We met them at Fan Expo.
You did. Yes, you did. That was one of my favorite moments of the con, is watching.
I got Matt's card right here.
So they dragged it over, no questions asked. And before, because I was basically told that the convention was coming to deal with me, that they took care of it. And the convention came, and there was nothing to deal with. But I ended up spending basically the rest of the weekend, instead of at my booth, in my jail, because it was immensely popular. And man,
I'm sure it was.
I have pictures of a ton of Care Bears jammed in there with me, and I'm literally jammed up against the jail, whole bat families, kids trying to break me out. Like it was something to, you guys know this, it's something to do out of just, hey, there's a cosplayer, go up there and tell them how incredible they are. They'll want to hear that, right? And it's like, and then maybe they'll talk back to you, and it's, I don't know, it just kind of static, right? So now it's like, I want this to be something community oriented.
Moving forward, guys, it's mules. I'm sorry,
mules.
handlers, but it's definitely mules moving forward.
So I think we should have shown Rob's comment first, because Rob is who started this.
I know.
So Rob said, "Here we
call
go.
them handlers, not mules. They don't like that."
Oh, in Western Canada, the cowboy thing going on is mules. No.
Yeah. No, producer Jen was
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
to chime in. She's like, "No, I don't, Rob. You're right." So it's yeah.
Man, oh
But
man.
Jamie seems to be getting a kick out of the mules thing. So I think this is. Wait, is this why they call me a jackass? Yes, Rob. That's why they call
There you
you
go.
the
Yeah,
jackass. You're
yeah, yeah.
Oh my,
saddle up, boys. Says Cutie. Yeah, this is
that's
going
great.
off. This is going off the rails already, like we thought.
Yes.
No, that's okay. Well, actually, before it does go off the rails, kid, for the people that don't actually know you, at this point, I don't know who doesn't know you that is watching this show, but for some weird reason, if somebody's watching or listening and they don't know who you are,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how you even got into cosplay in the first place.
Oh my gosh. Well, I got not threatened. Um
Somebody beat you over the head with a baseball bat. Get into costume.
wish. Yeah, you know what? It's when so way back in the day, I would try to make, and this is before cosplay was cool. And I'm going way back. I remember going to Value Village and getting some finding like an old chest protector, and I wanted to be Batman, and so this would have been Val Kilmer Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I remember taking a glue gun and styrofoam and doing the abs and the chest and putting like this fake leather over top of it, and that was my Batman because I wanted to. It didn't look great, but I liked it because it was more legit than what you could buy at Walmart or a costume store back then, right? And you didn't have much money. I could make it with like $10 or $15 instead of buying some dumb suit for 75 or something like that, right? And I ended up doing a couple of charity kind of haunted houses. They started off as just big
Oh,
trick
yeah.
or treat places, but then it
Yeah.
was like bring a tin for the bin, and the first year went over nuts, and then so the second year got moved to a greenhouse in town, and you got 4,000 people coming through, and it was great. And so it was strange, like being Batman was kind of it, and I'd always wanted to be the Joker instead, right? I love Jack Nicholson and what he did, and Batman the animated series was out. I loved the take on the Joker, and I really loved his sidekick, Harley Quinn. She was just awesome. That she believed in this, kind of piece of garbage here, and tried to keep pushing him over the top because that's the way it is, right? So that's all the stuff, and I never was going to do anything with it. I collected Harley Quinn, every Harley Quinn comic that was out there. The Alex Ross poster on the back wall. I have had a couple T-shirts and stuff of it, and I don't know. That was it. I ended up like The Dark Knight comes out, and people are like, "Oh, because I had shaggy hair." And they're kind of like, "Oh, but you kind of look like Heath Ledger. You should think about that Joker. You should think about that Joker." And I hadn't seen the movie. I never saw it originally in the theater. It was on a Christmas day with a big bowl of Count Chocula. I turned it on, and it was like, wow, this is great. So the first time I ever did like Heath Ledger's Joker, or tried to, I did not know how to do anything, and I looked more like Marilyn Manson. And yeah, oh, it's for sure, man. And I wish I would have sent you guys one of those pictures because it's great to see kind of where you start. The only good thing that happened that night at the Halloween thing I went to was there was a drunk Batman, and he dropped his glove. And when I picked it up and gave it to him, he fell up the stairs, like not down the stairs. He fell up the stairs. It was really strange, but it was like, I think I got something. I got to try this again, right? I got to really put some time into it. And there was another like Halloween social the next year. And then our convention came along in 2009. And I had this friend, Alex Greenlay is his name. And he was bothering me for years. He's like, "You need to go to Comic Con. You need to come out to this and dress up as this. And I know you like comic books. You love the Joker. You should do that. Come on out." And I'm like, "No effing way, Alex. I'm not going out to hang out with those Trekkies and all these other
Hey,
goofballs and stuff like that."
hey,
Right? Right? That's where it started for me. So because of this social I had to go to the night before, I got dressed up again as the Joker, and people liked it. And it was like, okay. Now it
Oh,
wasn't very much Heath Ledger. It was more of old school, it was just a Joker of whatever kind. But I went with my cousin who was Batman, and we went to park, and we realized, hey, I've got no pockets, and I don't have cash on me right now. How do we pay for parking? and he's kind of in his bat suit and he doesn't have his wallet. And so, I mean, this is kind of a strange story, but there was a guy that asked us for change and we both didn't have anything. And so we walk back to him and say, like, look, can we borrow a couple bucks off of you so we could plug the parking meters and then go back? We'll go inside and we'll get out of our costume or whatever, get our wallets, and we'll come back and we'll give you more. Right. So this, you know, street guy had to give us a couple bucks for parking to get in. And that was nuts. It was just like, man, oh man, how is this even possible? But you get into the convention and people immediately wanted to start. You've all been there, right? The hook is set. The fishing hook starts dangling around in the aisles, and bang, people are taking pictures, and it was great. It changed everything for me, because it took you know, Heath passing away and me going from being a big musician where we were out playing somewhere every second weekend out on the road, and I had a cousin who also had died by suicide. So he was a super creative guy, and he would have been the guy that brought me to Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought of my cousin Jeff, and you know, with starting that all
Not
up.
our Jeff.
Nope.
Different Jeff.
No, you know, your Jeff is still around, and he's pretty awesome. And you got.
He's not here right now, by the way. For those with the keen eye, have probably noticed that Jeff has dropped off. He sent me a message. He thinks his internet may have gone down, so he's going to try to reboot his computer, and he's going to try to come back as soon as possible. But
Yeah.
yes, your cousin Jeff.
Yeah. So, but that was it. And I think the only thing that really, as good as getting pictures and stuff, was the only thing that made me ever want to think about doing it again was seeing a Harley Quinn cosplayer and getting to meet her, and a total stranger, and they go nuts for your costume, and this person that you loved from TV wants to take pictures with you. And Sherry Simons is her name, Sherry Lavelle, and she did a brilliant little Harley Quinn cosplay. And I didn't think anybody actually even knew about that character, never mind dress up as them. And so that was it. And then it was just kind of, you know, I won't go into all 14 years, thank God, but it's growing, and we started going other places and meeting great Harley Quinns all over the place. And then it kind of became not cool for a while there, where it's like, well, she's not with that Joker guy anymore, and that kind of all, I don't know. There was like an influx of a lot younger cosplayers came in with more of the Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, and all that kind of stuff. So whatever, but I'm hoping the whole Arlene Sorkin news and stuff that happened on Toronto weekend was very emotional for me. Meeting up with Harleys on the Sunday, and very special. And but I don't know. That's
and every
kind of,
Harley at that show wanted a picture with you. Let's be honest.
yeah, I hope so. Or they wanted to kill me. Either way.
Well, either or.
Great. Yes. Yeah. It's a good result. But
brings up this good point here. Natasha's saying the bomb video we did is one of my best memories of Fan Expo this year. I will say that was quite funny.
Isn't that great?
I feel like they brought the bomb in specifically to do that video, and it was genius.
Yeah, it was great. And I pulled into my old Wile E. Coyote. It's like, what would he do if he was looking at this bomb right now? And it was just the facials, and everyone played their part in that video, and watching that come together. If I could get cheesy here for a second, like one of my divining rods, like David Bowie, he says, art is our ability to get into a really nice sports car and drive it at full speed, crash it into a wall, and be able to walk away and see what happens, right? So do the most crazy, the thing that you really have the most passion to do, and just see where it goes. It's not always going to work, but at least you know you did it. And it's way better than any kind of, well, man, if I only tried that out, if I only had the
what
guts
ifs, right?
Yes, what ifs, right? So I'm so glad that bomb made its way into my hands. And when people are like, oh, do you mind if I try blowing you up, or try stabbing you, or punching you, or whatever. It's like, no, I don't mind at all. I love it. Right. It's all part of what it's like, right? Like just, that's a great piece of the convention.
I know I said it last year. I said it again this year. I should have prepared. We need some sort of a foam crowbar so we could take a couple of shots of
Oh,
Red
boy.
Hood and the Joker,
Yep.
one where one's above the other and then vice versa.
Yep.
Because I think that's a missed opportunity.
Oh my gosh. I had a guy make me resin crowbars for a while. And this is back in my Dragon Con years. And
Mhm.
oh my God, it was fantastic. And just what you would want to do with people and what people would allow you to do to them. That's kind of that's the other thing, right? Where it's just, holy smokes, we got some immediate trust here. And if we weren't dressed in these zany costumes, and we were just two people on a bus, and I had a Joker t-shirt on, and you had a Red Hood t-shirt on, we probably wouldn't say boo to each other.
Yeah,
Right?
it'd be like, I see you.
I don't like that guy. This guy got a nice shirt though. No.
I got confronted one day by somebody because I was wearing a Decepticon t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he super, like, not aggressive physically, but like super mad and like, what are you doing supporting Decepticons and blah blah blah, this and that, they're the bad guys. I was like, holy cow, dude, like, cartoons, man. Relax, dude.
Supporting the bad guys.
Holy
That's where you give
cow.
them. Who do you think's fixing our streets?
Yeah.
Optimus Prime and all these sports cars? No, it's the Constructicons.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Mr. Bob Roberts is in the chat saying, and my internet is out. For those that don't know who Bob Roberts is. Mr. Jeff is saying, sorry, wrong account. His internet is out and he's now on his phone data. So I don't know if his internet will come back before the end of the show. Yikes. Jeff, keep an eye on it. If you can make your way back, try to get back in here.
Yeah.
Not possible. Cosplay and crochet is saying for kid. What would be your dream convention to attend if money and traveling were no concern? Well, and why? What makes it so special?
You know what? It's Dragon Con. I said this multiple times in Toronto. Like if somebody offered me a free trip to San Diego Comic Con, or I just had to pay to get to Dragon Con, but I actually had a room, I would do Dragon Con, no problem. Like people don't understand how hard it is to get that room. Like you had to book it the same weekend, basically, as right after Dragon Con happens. And then
the people that were there this year. Okay, so for the folks that don't know, Dragon Con was last weekend.
Yep.
Everybody went back to work on Monday or Tuesday, depending on who took the day off. But those people booked their rooms for next year before they left Atlanta.
Yep.
Because if you don't,
Legacy,
you're not getting a room.
You're done. Yeah, you're left without a dance chair or like a dance partner. So it I don't know. It's 4 days of just, I was wearing Joker for 16 hours a day and coming in for like an hour to refresh. But my God, did the makeup look fantastic. And then at the end of the fourth day, this is how you know you're at somewhere special. Like the fourth day, you're going to start getting ready and you don't have any makeup on yet, but your face is kind of all rashy because, you've been having scar makeup on and stuff like that. And I just went out to the ice machine to get ice, and a Harley Quinn came by and wanted pictures and stuff because, this has to be a Joker. This has to be, right? So it's just the strangest freaking thing. And you meet so many incredible people. You meet Hollywood people that are they just want to be there. They want to be part of it. It's a spectacle. I know there's a lot of talk about the drunkenness. It's not always avoidable because, an asshole always seems to find their way to screw things up for a lot of people. But my gosh, it's so good from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And they've got aquarium night where everyone heads down to the aquarium. They've got a massive, like a DJ dance party. You get to walk through the aquarium. In one of the pictures I sent, there's a picture, one of my favorite pictures of all time. I'm a huge shark aficionado, and there's me with a 25-foot whale shark. And that, it's just great. Just JS, just so you know, like I sent you guys, I think it was 54 photos.
Yeah.
and you guys could basically flip through them and throw something up on the screen. Because I didn't know what we were going to do here today, but it's like every one of those photos has some stupid memory attached or something fun I did. But I think it shows and I mean, it's just dipping a toe in the water, but it shows like a lot of crazy stuff happened, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you. Dragon Con for me is probably the con as well.
Yeah.
You know, I always feel like Dragon Con is the cosplay con,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
It's the one that all the cosplayers want to be at. It's the one that all the big cosplayers are at. So yeah, definitely a big con I would like to see one day.
Yeah. And you know what though?
Um,
The other thing is it's not inundated with cosplay guests. Back
mhm,
when I was going, Yaya was the only person that had a booth, and they
mhm.
gave that to her because she was from Atlanta at the time. But everyone, Kamuni cosplay, just in the crowd. Like everyone just wants to be in there and swimming in the ocean, and
Yeah.
it's so great. You never know who you're gonna bump into next, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the party con for sure. Producer Jen's asking, kid, would you ever do Toronto Comic Con?
Possibly, right? Like I had such a good time in Toronto, and I'm almost on this kick right now of wanting to do the new. Like I did Vancouver,
Mhm.
and I loved it, especially coming from Winnipeg to go into a con in Vancouver in February where it was +8, and I could smell plants as opposed to -35, and have to walk back to my car after the airport with just a blazer on and a toque. It's not great. But going to that con sure was great, and the restaurants and the after con stuff was so much fun. Walking the streets and hanging out with a great group. That's just as important as the convention itself. And there's something actually maybe I'm sure most people do this, but I've always maintained like in panels and stuff like that that you should have a framework of friends and creative stuff going on to drown out the stress and the bullshit of a convention weekend, so that if you looked at your calendar and you erased the convention, you'd look at it and look forward to that weekend, because it's like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, this is nuts. Like in Winnipeg we used to
Mhm.
do I would run the Comic-Con after party, and it wasn't official, but 125 people would show up to it because we fed them, and they're introverts and they could just sit on these couches and play pool and talk to the people they want to. It wasn't some massive super loud thing surrounded by drunks that were going to destroy your costumes, because people still would wear their costumes to this.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then 2 o'clock, it's over, you go to bed, you get up at 6, you think you're going to get ready for the con. No, we made another event just to show like how crazy we were, a Sunday morning event called French fucking Toast. And it started out of a Dragon Con thing where I met somebody at the con, big Joker fan, Chef Jax, and it turned out she was a chef. And I candidly threw out there, hey, so what would you charge us to kind of bring us a full catered breakfast of like French toast and pineapple and all this other, bacon and all this other. And she's like, oh, this and this, nothing at all. Let's do it, right? And my roommates were all like, oh, that's fantastic. So then we ended up having like 12 people in our room for this French toast breakfast, and it was Harley Quinn actually that posted on when we shared that we were doing that. She's like, "Where's my French fucking toast?" Right? She was angry that she wasn't in on this thing, so we started it. It's like an early Sunday morning, last day of the con. Let's show how crazy you are. Come on out to this breakfast place, and I think that's one of the pictures I sent along as well. It's just a long row of people looking very disheveled, and they're not for like some community disaster function. It's legitimately they're just tired, but they don't want to miss a good time, and they came
Yeah,
out for it.
and you come out of those weekends just
Yep.
dead, right?
Yes,
Like,
you
it
do.
takes you a week just to recover from the weekend, if not longer.
Hmm.
The older you get, the longer it takes to get over it. I won't lie.
You have to learn.
Uh,
You have to learn your limitations, man.
you do, you do. Michael here is saying, word of advice: if you're going to go to, wow, if you're going to do Dragon Con, don't do that and Fan Expo. You will die.
I would.
And
I totally
then
would.
Jamie is asking, Michael, did you experience this firsthand? Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh.
Last year, Michael actually did Fan Expo, and then the following weekend, it's Dragon Con. So
Yeah.
2 weekends in a row of big giant cons. I could not do that myself.
No, me
That's
neither. It's too much. It's too
yeah.
like it's too takes just takes too much to put on those
Mhm,
costumes and stuff.
mhm.
That said, man, like how many times in life do you have a chance? Here's a couple of quick Dragon Con tidbits. From the movie Kill Bill, the Crazy 88s.
Mhm.
How many times do you have a chance to get chased by 88 people that want to kill you in the bowels of a hotel? That's happened. How many times do you have a chance to go into a bathroom and you yeah, there we go. That's it. There and there's the start of the line and you can actually see the two lines. There's a guy on the right converging with the other line on the left where I had boxed myself in and I had to get the hell out of there. And they were yelling and but my photographer Hatchet, oh God bless him. I love that guy so much because this was his idea and I didn't get it at the time, but my gosh, it was so great. What he didn't get was I went to the bathroom. And I'm about to go and wash my hands. And there's a whole bunch of zombies at Dragon Con with a big gallon jug of fake blood.
Okay.
And they're like, and they're just trying to put blood on their shirts and stuff like that. And I'm washing my hands and I'm like, I see them in the mirror and they see me and everything from chatter, it gets to talk to quiet. Like it's almost like a stare down. Like I'm looking at them and they're looking at me and I'm looking at the thing of blood. And it's like, hey guys, wouldn't this be funny if we took that fake blood and splashed it all over all the sinks and our hands and made it look like we're all washing up from some kind of horrible disaster scene. Now, it was fantastic, man, because the argument that it ensued about which one of these zombies was actually going to have to take the picture because we weren't going to. Everyone
Everybody
else,
wanted to be in the picture.
yes, and everyone else in the bathroom had some other big business deals going on, so you couldn't ask them. And my photographer Kelly was not with me in the bathroom. He's politely waiting outside. So this guy took a picture and I never got it. And it bothers me. It's like something I definitely want to try recreating one day, but it was so perfect. And these guys were like, this would never happen anywhere else. This would never happen anywhere else. I'm like, man, I should have just gone out and got Kelly. And I was like, I'm leaving the bathroom and I go out and there's Kelly waiting and he is with a Superman and a Batman and he's waiting with his camera ready because they're gonna jump me. And they knew that I was hanging around with this camera guy, and he's like, yeah, he's in the bathroom, and just wait for him. He'll be out in a second. And I didn't even have a chance to tell Kelly anything. And I was in a battle with these other two guys, and it was fantastic, man.
And this is all at Dragon Con.
All at Dragon Con. And so, when I see people getting hung up on, I only do the costume contest, I only do a panel, I only do this or that, whatever. Have some fun, man. Okay, oh my gosh, this is Sarah Jane from Regina, a Harley Quinn that I met on DeviantArt. And it's like, man, that's just sounds so sketchy. After a few years of knowing her, the movie Walk the Line with Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix came out, and there's iconic set of pictures of Johnny and June, and we basically recreated them all, but instead of like
As
microphones,
Joker and
as
Harley.
Joker and Harley, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're so great. I love the grain on them. I love that backlight, and it's just everything was just so I was huge into Johnny Cash at the time as well, and they really turned out well. And it's just in a freaking. This is your entrance to like the pool area or the parkade at the what is it called? Oh, it's a hotel in Calgary right by the airport, but it was the con hub for a few years, and man, it just turned out great. Oh my gosh, this is Jeff Ingram is the Bane. He's one of my best buddies, and he's up in Fort McMurray now. And my gosh, he's 6'5", I want to say,
Oh
maybe
wow,
six
okay.
six. Yeah. So, and here he's probably about 260, 270. So he's a massive, massive, imposing individual. And we have quite a lot of photos of us kicking the crap out of pretty much every hero you can ever think of. But there was this little scarecrow guy, and he was rocking it. And he was so quiet and so shy. And he wanted a picture with us. And his
This is
mom's
the
like,
Cillian Murphy scarecrow too.
yes. And the mom's like, he just doesn't know how to say it, man. And we get down there to his level, and he bloomed, man. You could look at his hands. He is
Mhm.
the most evil villain right now, and he's feeling that moment. And my God, yeah, we're like, just watching him do that was like, I don't know. It's hard not to almost like cry because it's just so special that kid has to get over so much freaking fear to come in and, for Jeff, oh my gosh, he's so big and so imposing but a very nice guy.
This is for me. This is a big part of
Yep.
it. I mean, I'm pointing over here, but I'm
Yep. You know what? You're
like it's on my
Predators,
screen there. But
right? You get it, right? Like
we
you get
get
it with
that
the Predators.
same type
Yeah.
of reaction with the Predators for sure, and it's hard not to want to keep doing it. To be honest, when you make people's day, like
Yeah.
some people just like when they see you and they completely light up, right?
Yeah.
It's
You know what
quite
though? Like
something.
it's only, I would say at most 15% of the people that talk about you at a con actually stop you. And I've
Mhm.
been telling my friends like I want to start wearing a wire because everything I hear and this is especially David Bowie, the stuff that I heard, man, in Toronto, it really grabbed me in the heart where it's like I can't believe this. I can't share this with people because it's not a photo you can see. It's just something you hear. And there was one lady that was so scared to get a picture of me with the Goblin King because just a lifelong dream character of hers that she'd always loved, and she loved Bowie, and so she finally got it. And I got from Dragon Con, I got like this scent, 13 o'clock. It's like this special scent, and I put it on the shoulders of my costumes. So I'm the only costumer that will ever smell like that. When you give me a hug or we have something, I've got the Kid Remington smell, right? But she kind of, as she walked away from our photos, right, and I could feel her hand on my shoulders, kind of like just almost like trembling, right? She's like, "Oh my God, he smelled so good, and the Goblin King is so soft." And her friend just giggled with her, and it was just like, "Oh my gosh, like that is it. Like that's really what you want to do." And it's like,
I never
no,
knew David Bowie smelled so
I know.
good.
All right. So I don't know. Like it's so funny those memories. Like you're gonna get that with the Joker. It's like, oh, why so serious and all this kind of stuff. And yep, you get that, right. And people want to hear lines from the movie and all that. But when you get by their initial wall and get through to the art part of it all, it's just so special. So
Mhm.
special. And again, as the Predators, you guys would see that, like, just
For
yeah.
sure.
Thank you, Peter.
Our boy Peter Jarvis here saying getting to chat with Kid and Cutie made my con for me. What? What are we? Chop liver here, bud? What the
Oh
hell?
my gosh. Well,
What the
clearly
hell?
the Predators were in mirror mode and you couldn't.
Michael saying that's what I always do at least one day with my V crew. For those of you who don't know, Michael cosplays or costumes, I should say. They're like a costuming group, like the
Yeah,
501st, but they're the V pull is what we call them. I don't know if that's the official name, but
yeah,
they all dress up in V, the show from the 80s. If you don't
yep.
remember V,
I loved him.
guys,
Loved
that
that
was an
costume. Yeah.
amazing. Oh, I loved V when I was a kid, and you saying the same thing. It made certain generations' day when they
Yes.
see the visitors fleet. I mean, the
The right
first time
people.
I saw them, I was like, "Oh my god! Like this is amazing. This is genius." And he says, "It brings me so much joy to see their reaction."
It
And
won't
yeah,
next year because
it's
I'm bringing red dust next year, and I'm gonna clean the whole con out of the visitors. The red dust is gonna happen.
what's the red dusts?
It's what took them out in the original show. Like,
Was it really?
yeah,
Okay, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Okay, I gotta ask because you sent me a picture,
sure.
and I'm wondering what the hell is going
Oh,
on here. But
that's not supposed to be in there. That's just me trying to be a villain. And I'm on my way to Dragon Con, and
uh-huh.
there's a few Supermen that wanted to get into some shenanigans and get
So
into
you
some
sent
good.
them this.
Oh yeah, and yeah, they I was thrown out of Metropolis about 7 minutes after this happened, and I'm never allowed back in there again. But it was my Triple H moment for sure. Oh, this is great. I love this, man. It's just it starts off. This is a big DC shoot on the steps of the hotel, of the roof, basically the roof of the hotel in Atlanta. And after the shoot, everyone's just standing around, and I just started picking people off let's do something. Let's do something. Let's do something. And man, people were waiting. Like, look, you can see the other Batman hanging up there, and it's just kind of like, oh gosh, he's waiting for his chance. But that was
The
a
Christian Bale
great.
Batman in the background.
Yes, it was such a
Yeah.
great piece, man. So many, when people see you're open, that you want to work, tell me
Mhm.
your dream, and let's make this happen. Like within reason, clearly, of course. Like, I don't know, they've gotten some stupid requests over the years and you kind of have to turn them down. But for the most part, like this, I mean, with Ace and Patrick, this is fantastic to do, like just the story that it's telling. And this was actually a bunch of photographers taking it from different angles. And there's one that's got Robin's face is basically it's a side view and right in the middle of the picture, and you can just barely see my purple glove on the ground, and you can just barely see Batman's glove and the crowbar at the top. It's really a poignant shot.
So it's really just a picture of Robin.
Yep.
The only thing of you and Batman we're seeing are your hands.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That must be a pretty cool shot.
Well, you know what? And that Robin had an axe to grind, because about an hour earlier, I had a picture of me closing its head in a door. So yes. Oh man.
There's
So
Yaya right there.
yeah, Yaya and Tommy Castillo. Rest in peace, my friend. An artist, one of the first artists to draw the Ledger style Joker in a comic, right? So this was great. This was Masters costume contest in Winnipeg, and just getting a chance to work with professionals, like work with people that want to get into the work, right?
Mhm.
And not just sit there, like a lot of people think, when oh, I'm a guest at a cosplay convention, I've made it. No, like that to me, like that's always where the work starts. That's where you really have to get going now. Like you just they gave you a seat at the table. Now show them what you got, right? Like, and I think I don't know. It always serves you well to just keep pushing and trying to be a better version of yourself.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I know it's a silly saying, but I say it all the time. You miss 100% of the shots you
Yep.
don't take.
No, you're totally right.
So, if you wanna get into situations like this where you're gonna meet cool people and make new friends and learn new things,
Yep.
maybe create some smiles along the way, you gotta take a little bit of a chance, because if you
Yeah.
don't, then none of it's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, you have to take a chance. That's a great point on it too. And I'm so happy to everyone out there that if you've ever approached me for a picture and you're listening right now, like thank you for doing it, because there's a lot of people that they don't, and for whatever reasons. And I generally don't I'm not left wanting. I make things happen.
Mhm. Michael Myers is in the chat. What's up, Michael? By the way, I'm sorry I didn't catch the end of your show this week. Between the gym and everything, I missed the end. Kid, any more wrestling cosplays in the work? Your Triple H is too sweet.
Oh my
He's a
gosh.
big
Yeah.
wrestling fan.
Yeah, so a couple of different connotations of Jeff Jarrett,
Mhm.
and Scott Hall from the NWO.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not brash enough to go and I'm not tanned enough to do Razor Ramon. Otherwise, I probably would. And so those guys were supposed to be done in Calgary last year, but you just get to booth time, and I had, I think, 3 other new costumes on the go already that weekend, and that's it. So Triple H was a lot of fun. I was a huge fan of him. When everyone else was The Rock in Austin, I was the villain, Triple H, all the time. And it might have been my lengthy nose that I resembled Triple H a lot, and had the long blonde hair, as you could see back in the old peeing on Superman's leg picture. But yeah, being Triple H was a lot of fun. That wrestling group was a lot of fun, and Bret the Hitman Hart,
Mhm.
one of my childhood heroes. Um, he's got a bar in the casino right next to Calgary Convention, and we got the private dining room there, legitimately the private dining room for our wrestling group last year. So we're hoping to kind of keep that going, and yeah, yeah, man, wrestling is so much fun, because it you know when you think of cosplay and you kind of stitch wrestling right in there with the sound effect, the intro music and the louder than life personalities and great
Mhm.
costumes now and all that kind of stuff, and it's just great. It to me it's a no brainer, and there should be more wrestling guests at conventions for sure. And here in Winnipeg, we run wrestling at the con a lot of times. Dragon Con, they've got Dragon Con wrestling right at the con, and
Mhm.
it's quite complimentary.
We're actually going to be there's going to be a couple of wrestling guests at London Comic Con. We're actually going to get to meet Jake the Snake.
Yes.
There's somebody else now that I forget, but there's going to be a couple of wrestlers there. Cutie is saying the cosplay belt. Yeah, why don't you talk about the actual cosplay championship belt for a second? that Jeff was quick to announce was his when a kid joined our stream here. I quickly reminded Jeff that I ended the day Sunday with the championship belt on my shoulder, which technically makes me the championship holder.
Well,
At least until somebody else takes it away. Although it's not at my house now, it's a kid, so I guess that technically makes him the champion.
I got the cheap roll up on the airport security lady, and yeah, it was a quick 3 count. I got on the plane, they closed the doors, and that was it. The title is back where it belongs for another time. So this title, anyway, if you know anything about wrestling, the design of this title is one of the most illustrious in history, because it was not the big championship belt. It was a secondary belt, but held by, from 1985 to 1997, some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And when our wrestling group was kind of deciding on a design, this was the belt, like from Randy Savage to Razor Ramon.
The old Intercontinental Championship.
That's right, the
Yeah.
Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
So, and this was, okay, Hulk Hogan was the money maker back in the day. So he was the big star. So we're like, that's not what this title is for. This is for the guy that knows he's not the big guy on the card, a la the cosplay guests or whoever.
Mhm.
But we are going to try and give the best show of the night, a la Geeks and Co., which was, I'm totally happy with you guys wearing this title, because you guys bust your ass to make everyone feel included and have good memories and stuff. And that's really what it's about. And I mean, it's got some cachet now. Like I love seeing people want the title and they want to put it around and they want a photo op. And if it's somebody not in costume, I try and make them do a promo. And man, they're always willing, like absolutely willing to do a promos. So it's not foam or anything. It's real wrestling weight is what I call it. And man, the expectations are awesome with it. And I can't wait for it to keep getting dinged up and busted up. And it's really heavy. So it's a pain in the ass to carry in luggage, right? But it's a lot of fun.
Next time you're in town, we're cutting promos. That's what we're doing.
I can't wait
to hear that. Cutting promos in cosplay.
Hopefully in the spring, man. That would be really nice to get out there in the spring.
Cutie says, JS, I have a video of me kicking your butt for it. I think she's insinuating that she's the title holder. I will deny that video exists until I see proof of it.
You know what? I've seen her trim videos and put things together. I'm not doubting that she's going to be able to make that kind of footage happen. Like anyone else says that, I don't believe it.
Yeah, the belts change hands a lot at Fan Expo. Even Superman held it for a bit. That's right.
Yes, he did. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. And I mean, it's good for Superman to get a win every now and then as well, right?
Man. Yeah, I mean that is until the Superman 1 Kryptonite chain came out.
Yeah. Oof. And then
that was something. That was something. Kid, what is going on here?
Oh my gosh, this is great. So
it looks like Batman's not having a very good time right now.
No. Okay. So the first year we went to Calgary, they were way over limit and they shut the con down. So if you were on the con floor, you were good, but otherwise you were left outside looking in. And that's where we were for about 2 hours. And this was a couple of years later. And we are, this is me and Big Jeff again, dressing up as a different Bane. And we are ahead of the line of, you can see there's a Catwoman, there's a Two-Face, and then there's this Batman. There's another DC group coming up behind us.
And all the Bale characters, the Bale man.
Oh gosh, yeah. There's so many. But yeah, we loved it. Like this is, I love it that we can get like the blood can fly and the knives can come out, but we can also like we literally are just Calvin and Hobbes as well. Like just what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do about it, Batman? We're on the right side of the line. You aren't. Oh, this makes me happy. Oh gosh.
I've got guys. I've got a bunch more pictures here.
Oh
I've got
my
a
gosh.
collection of Jokers here.
Yes. So Spencer, a friend of mine, there's a Tango and Cash movie poster somewhere in those photos, and we when social media was kind of it was it was getting big, right? But cosplayers didn't know really how to um, not capitalize on it, but how to really work it. Spencer and I, another guy from BC, we basically worked it so that we were feuding like wrestlers online, and we had it so that everyone thought we hated each other, but really we were staying at the same hotel together. It was fantastic. But it was one year in Edmonton. He wanted to be a Joker, but he wanted to be the evil high school gym Joker, and everyone hates their high school gym teacher or whatever. If you didn't excel at sports, you probably ran afoul of this guy. So like how horrible would that be for him to be
The Joker.
the Joker, right? And this is the last year I ever stayed at somebody's house, actually, and there was a massive party and a lot of people were hungover the next day, and for this big idiot to be blowing in that, he has a whistle, and he was blowing that whistle nonstop, and he literally was just irritating the crap out of everyone. But he found I was there's the other Ledger Joker, crazy story. That is oh my gosh, Samantha King. She actually has a couple charted country songs. But a big Joker fan. And this is Ashley in the orange shorts. And he made us all do push-ups. And I don't know where we're at here, man, but I was sort of in shape at that time. So I was doing good at the push-ups. So then he decided he was going to step on me and make me keep doing them and stuff. And it was just, oh my gosh, a great memory. I feel bad for those poor kids mortified in the background there, but
Wondering what the heck is going on with these guys
yes.
over here.
Yep.
I guess the Joker's kind of become your staple cosplay, right? I mean, whether it be the Heath Ledger Joker or whether it be the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Yep.
I feel like that's what most people kind of know you for now.
Yep.
But it's not your favorite cosplay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to try to bring it up here if I can. Come on, what's going on? Sorry, I'm needing to click through a bunch of pictures here.
Right. I know I sent a lot, but
there you go.
oh my gosh.
You're Goblin King.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, when I first saw you, so we met you for the first time last year at Fan Expo.
Yep.
And the first day, I don't think you dressed up the first day, did you? On Thursday.
Yeah, I was
remember
Hawkeye,
now.
Incognito Hawkeye. It was a legit costume, but nobody thought I dressed up.
Well,
I love that kind of stuff though.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I do remember you coming out in this on the Friday or the Saturday, and absolutely blew my mind. Now I know Victoria got some great pictures. Oh, so it had to have been on Saturday because Victoria got some great pictures of you.
Yeah.
In your Jareth. I couldn't find them to show them on screen today. They're on one of my hard drives, but
yeah.
What made you decide to even cosplay this in the first place?
So when David Bowie passed away, I really got like a lot of people, you start getting introspective on this guy. And I really did a deep dive. And the cosplayer doing Sarah, Angelica Northam, she was starting to do, she wanted to do this Sarah, the ball gown dress, right? And Jareth, I'd met a couple of, try not to get too in the weeds here, but with Jareth, it was always, if the males did it, it was almost done like a joke. And if the females did it, it was always done really well, like a great show of respect. There's a friend of mine, Magpie, who does a Jareth that it just is mind blowing. And that's kind of, man, that's always what kind of made me say, like, gosh, that's something I'd like to visit someday, but I don't know what that looks like. And then he passed away, and I'm starting to do some reading, and he was the same age that I was at that time when he filmed Labyrinth. So it was on, and I didn't know how I was going to do that or pull that off. But gosh, it just, it started to go, and the costume came together, and I thank everyone that helped me with it. Like, I did my tailor put the coat together, but I did all like the embellishments
I
on
was
it.
just gonna ask.
Right?
The coat looks like it was professionally.
Yeah.
Like,
And I gotta say, man, Tam Taylor here in Winnipeg, he does a lot of the movie work, and
oh, okay.
he loves it when I bring my projects in, because he knows something fun is going to happen. And I got him to make me. It was a dual. It's like a Nicholson coat that's also um, a different Joker from like a Batman the Animated Series Joker that it's not good enough for me yet, where it's like it's got to be good and I'll wear it. And I don't know. Again, I'm getting way off topic here, but I'll get
No.
back to this. Like, yeah, so I look at this, man, and it's just, I'm just basically coming out. The butterfly is just coming out of the chrysalis right here. And this is a week after my son was born, and Eliana set up this photo shoot down in the St. Norbert ruins, and she decorated it all up, and it was, I don't know, it was great. But every time I wear Jareth, I get more comfortable, and the feedback gets more and more and more and more, and it's just nuts. Like having a mom with a whole bunch of shopping bags for her kids at the con, and she just basically drops the bags and said, "You guys wait here for a second." And she walks up and just crushes me in a hug, and she's like, I miss him so much. Finally, something here for me. And
It's for sure a character I feel that applies
crazy.
more to our generation though than the
Yeah.
younger generation. I feel like the kids don't really even know Labyrinth.
No, they don't.
My
No.
kids saw Labyrinth for the first time just a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, the younger generation aren't really into the movie, but for us, for me, for our generation, I think this is iconic. And I
Yeah.
think it shows. We've got here Cutie that says one of my all-time favs of kids is, as you know, same thing for, why is it not showing up?
Wait till it gets to where I
Not possible. My
want.
fav cosplay of his. Jennifer
Yeah.
is also
Oh,
saying it's my fav one. I mean, everybody, I think, for some reason connects with this character on some
yeah.
level,
Yeah.
and you do it very well. You've got a great look. It really works.
Yeah.
This is dope.
You know what? It's funny though. I've always called, like, my own nickname for myself is the ugly duckling, because nothing has come easy for me in life, and to put something on like this that you know, it literally equates to if I would ever try to regularly wear makeup in real life, because
Mhm.
Jareth from 10 feet away, it looks all ensconced in beauty, but then you see the cracks, and you see kind of the chaos that he presents, and that it's not all what it seems to be, right? And man, I can't wait to finish that costume, man.
I like those characters that are,
Yeah, they show you something every time
yeah,
you look at them. There's something different, right, or new.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, where's your mask?
Ah. Okay, so this is in Regina, Saskatchewan, and it is a super hot day in July, and this is the Queen's X Parade, and I got asked to walk the parade. So I put out a call, and I got basically not strangers, people I knew of, but they wanted to come out and be my henchmen. So I dressed him up as henchmen. Look at the guy with the yellow gloves there, man.
That's
Those are
awesome.
rubber gloves he's wearing. Like
That's insane.
they were totally in it, and they loved it because they really aren't costumers, but they had a chance to get in and be part of something special. And when I do that parade in Regina, we fall floats behind because everyone wants to interact and everyone wants to be to get photos and selfies, and it's so great because I can go on social media and I can basically patch together the whole parade on selfies and stuff like that.
From
It's
people
great.
posting pictures.
Yeah. On
That's
this day,
awesome.
I ran into a Tim Hortons and I bought us waters because we were dying out there. And man, oh man, it was nuts. And another huge regret. The parade is over. Go back to my hotel to get washed up, and I'm just starting to take my makeup off. I've taken one little thing of makeup off, and just in the sink, and this strange feeling on my nose, and I just get this gushing
Oh
nosebleed
no.
because it's just all I am dehydrated. It's hot as hell, and it was just not great. But man, it was great. Another very and I should have been hoping for like a Kleenex to clean up, but I was wishing there was a photographer there to take that because it was nuts. I had
Of
like
course you were.
blood around my teeth, and it was nuts. But and man, I can still taste that iron actually,
Mhm.
man. But yeah, special stuff. And man, and the kids, like again, like my God, this is a life lesson for every day in your life. You're always going to find those things that you're scared of. If it's wasps, if it's heavy traffic, if it's whatever it is, crowded rooms, having to speak in public. If these kids can get into it and be happy to see me, they've got no reason to want to hang around somebody like me, but they're into it. And you make yourself approachable and you open up in a way that you know what? You're not going to get killed here. You're going to have some fun, right? And man, there's kids that I met when they could barely walk, and now they're growing up. And you know, when I first started this to now, and it's nuts. They still come for pictures, and yeah, it's great. Now they've gone from just hanging out with me to wanting to kick my ass in costume, and that's awesome.
Exactly. You
Oh
know,
man,
yeah, like, I feel like the Titans should be kicking your ass here right now, but you've got Yaya over here again. Who's on
yep.
the left? Who's the Harley? I feel like I know that person as
Tracy
well.
Hines, and then that's Ryu Lavi or Lavitt. Is So three incredibly successful cosplayers, and this is back, I want to say 16, 17.
Mhm.
But I like this because there's a sense of community amongst the guests that I don't necessarily know if it's there now. I think it's functionally there for photos, but not. And in this picture, Raven and I are chatting, and she wanted a picture, and the other two got into our chat and came into the picture. And for them to want to come into the picture and them to want to be part of the chat, like that's why this is a really special photo to me. The fact that my hair's not done yet and all that other stuff aside, that I'm sure we all notice, but
And
I
they're
don't know.
already wanting pictures.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, but it's just who they represented, right?
For
And here we are in Winnipeg, the middle of nowhere. You guys don't have to. You don't have to care, but you do, and that makes a lot of difference. This is like a travel lodge. This is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Here's another great shot of
Oh,
Joker and Batman, very reminiscent of The Dark Knight with the lights in the back looking like there's an explosion going on there. I mean, you know.
yes. That's a spooky place in real life, and I'm going to see that next weekend in Edmonton. That is right near the Electric Rail Car Company house.
Mhm.
And that Batman on the tracks is Mr. Stephen Pace, Esquire. He shot a fan film called The Ride, and it's based off of a couple scenes from Terminator and Miami Vice stitched together, but in a Batman form. So we picked this weekend where it's like 3 degrees outside, and it was great to go and shoot and possibly, spoiler alert, possibly get killed on the railway tracks. Um, but I don't know, it's neat.
Did people see that somewhere?
Yeah, you know what? Geez, if you went on to just YouTube and said the Ride Batman fan film, um, yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great. And a couple kernels, like, so Steve has done a bunch of these since. This was his first one. So him and the crew he was with, uh his crew is really cool that put everything together. Yeah, again, when you're making your own home movie, it's kind of tough to get the execution when you get into editing and sound pass and all that kind of stuff. But the shooting was great. The stuff with Harley, Samantha Woods, we were running on in back alleys, and it was kind of spitting rain, so you get that little bit of oil slick, and she's running in high heels, and I'm trying to show her up by running really fast. And you do a lot of fun stuff, but there's funny things in there like that. The Terminator scene, where there's a scene where the Terminator goes into kind of a pawn shop and buys a whole bunch of guns like Arnold Schwarzenegger does.
Yeah.
And so I sort of do something like that as the Joker, but without makeup on. I just have my scars, and I'm clearly believed to be dead at this time. So it's a great part of the movie, made funner by the real things in life that happened, where I'm walking, with a big bag, dressed as a Joker, to go into this pawn shop, and they were trying to get like just background shots of me walking, and just a stream of cop cars just happened to go by us while we're filming at the same time. And it was just, oh my gosh, how do these things happen? This is so great. We have to put this in the shot. I don't even remember if it was used in the shot, but it was just, man, it was great.
Folks, make sure you go check it out. Cutie is saying, hold please. I think she's trying to get the channel. She says, here's the channel, but there's no actual comment there after that. So I think she's trying to type it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer here is saying, you know how people do different iterations of Deadpool. I mean, Jareth Deadpool, maybe kind of into it.
Yeah,
food for thought.
You know what? As far as Deadpool goes, I've met a ton of them and successfully killed them. By the way, they did not reheal. I'm not going to divulge my secrets here. But yeah, it's not Deadpool is a character I run into at conventions. I've never wanted to be Deadpool. I've never really read Deadpool. Well, actually, the Hawkeye Deadpool miniseries, I've read that one. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I know I did a Joker Han Solo for like a mashup, but and
I was never really into Deadpool before the movies myself, right? It wasn't a character that I was all like, ooh, wow about,
Yeah, and I haven't seen the movies yet, so.
You haven't seen the movies?
No, I'm a bit behind on movies, right? So yeah, it's funny. Like when I hear all the talk about shows or this or that, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm still watching the Avengers from 1968.
Kid is one of the best people at cons and keeps me coming back. Always complimentary and caring, from Chris Pugh. Yeah, I mean, dude.
Thanks,
I think
Chris.
it goes without saying.
Checks in the mail.
A lot of people have said it in the comments here. You're a big part of what makes this community. What you do with Can Cosplay Cards and the kind of person that you are at cons just makes people want to be around you.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. That I hope you come back to Toronto soon, bud. We didn't even get a chance to really hang out other than what we did at the booth. Somehow bumping into each other at the restaurant that night that you kicked us out of the private room there.
The private dining room.
Revoked our invitation to the private dining room, but
that's
anyway.
How you know I love you guys, because I basically rickrolled you there at that. It was so great telling my artist friends, like, guys, they were all counting at the table, like, how many do we have? How many do you guys have here? And they're like, 1, 2. And it's like everyone at the same time. It's like an episode of Friends. Everyone at the same time. We've got 8. Oh, I got room for 2. Oh, it was so good. Oh my gosh, that's a good place for dinner. Actually, I like to go there once.
Yeah, it was good food. It was really good food. Scatterbush, if you guys don't know, there's a couple in the GTA. I don't know if they're elsewhere, but they're actually pretty good.
And getting to sit with you guys at the hotel was great as well. The first night in the lounge, that was, I don't know. I love those moments.
Yeah, for sure. To me, those moments are almost more fun than the con itself, right? Being able to hang out with all your friends.
Yeah.
I was saying that last week. A lot of the people that we hang out with when we go to cons are people that we only see once or twice a year, right? That we only get to like, even with Jeff and Megan, right? Like we only get to really see them when we go to cons, right? Very rarely do we get to see them outside of those specific events that we have, right? So it's always
people probably think you guys see each other all the time because you got your weekly show, but hey, he's 2 hours away in London, right?
Yeah, he's 3 hours away, and we're doing this over video like this, right? So
it's not, it's not quite the same as being right in there and lifting a pint together or something like that, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and by the way, like I'm seeing the ones like the chat number there, and I'm one of those sickos. I like to go back and watch, and if you put a question or something in there that we didn't get to, I'm gonna answer it. So
Hmm.
so just watch out. Like I'm kind of cerebral that way. I used to like we used to do this Christmas card exchange, and I'd spend like $500 a year on postage and cards to send out to everybody, and it was
Wow.
nuts. And we kind of got away from that, and but it was a hot time where you're filling out all sorts of stuff, and I don't know. I always like those little the personal touches, and you don't expect something back, but you're hoping it resonates and
Hmm.
people kind of feel good about you or know that if they're down and they really need a hand, something good they know they can come see me.
And that's why people love you, bud.
Mm, I appreciate it. Well, it's
Uh,
reciprocal.
Kid, we've been on now for God almost an hour and a half, so we got to cut
Yep.
it off. But
Yep.
before we do go, remind everybody, where they can find you on socials, your website, where they can subscribe to Can Cosplay Cards. This is your chance to do a little final sales pitch before we go.
Well, so I have a strange relationship with social media. I've got like, I don't know, 1,500 followers on Instagram, but I legitimately could get clued in or quizzed and tell you who this person is and what our good memories and stuff like that. I don't just follow people because, now don't get me wrong, there's shark stuff and there's train stuff and there's wrestling stuff and music stuff.
Oh,
Of
you're a
course, I'm
trains
following
guy
that stuff.
too.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, I could have talked for 90 minutes on trains, but like I don't know. So Kid Remington everywhere on www.kidremington.com. You could go on. Oh man, there's I think on YouTube I probably have the old The Last Laugh video show. We had put up a couple of episodes of that way
Hmm.
back when. Our Na 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 music video that we filmed, things like that. Instagram, Facebook. I have a TikTok, but it's just so to say I've got one, but I haven't put
Well,
any
Can
content on
Cosplay
it.
Cards has also an Instagram, a
Yep.
Facebook, and a TikTok, I
And
believe.
a TikTok. How about that?
Yeah,
Cutie putting that
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Me.
And I mean, Cutie, I know you're out there because I don't know what else you would be doing, right? Creating some kind of crazy scene for shooting, no doubt. But thank you again for everything that you do. I appreciate you being at the con on time at the start, and you hit it like a hammer, man, and you nail it every time. And I love you for that, for sure. I'm so blessed with all the great people that decide to come out and help out, like Matt and Becca and Chantel. Like it's so great finding new people, and somewhere in the ether, you guys we've been together all along. Like I feel that with all of them, and that we're just, I don't know. It's tough to describe, but I think everyone knows what I mean, right? But so that's all the places. And Can Cosplay Cards. The last thing I'm going to say about this too, yeah, we do use some cash for expenses, right? When you're doing banners and we're paying for our print and all that other kind of stuff. But um, we give away $200 like scholarships, and we call them scholarships or bursaries or stipends or whatever you call them, but to cosplayers that we see out there. Once you've registered your card with our set, we keep an eye out, and it's like,
Hmm.
hey, Ian Betts doing all this incredible work with homeless people in Regina, he's getting one. Colleen, make it, Huffy Unicorn starting up the cosplay repair booth out in Western Canada, and it's such an important thing, and it's busy all the time, and it's hard to get volunteers, and the con's not necessarily ponying up cash for all the supplies that are being used, man. Like
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. Like there's no shortage of people that could use that. And I mean, we've used it to pay bills, to put keep people in their house, and things like that. So like it's fantastic what it's there for, and what we're going to continue to use it for. And just quickly, we're going to be starting the Remington magazine, and that's going to be more to help out the production side, because there's so many photographers and videographers and producers that don't have, they need more resources as well to do awesome things like Justin Cosplay, MacGuffin Media doing their big video montages, you guys with your podcast, things like that. Like these are great resources, and anyone can pick up their phone or computer and hit record and tell us their 10 favorite, breakfast cereals or whatever, right? But when you get right down to the marrow of it, at like a convention and the convention coverage, and it really blows past the whole I'm taking a selfie, I'm having a great time. You see actually what's happening, the feet on the street, and it makes you feel good. I know I show all that stuff to my kids when I get home because it's the only way I can explain to them what's all happened when they ask me, how was your trip, Daddy? Check this out, man. These two predators chased me and I haven't slept for 4 days because of it. Or whatever it is, right? Like, my gosh, we're so, and this is going to be preachy, but we are so fortunate. We have so much to be excited and happy about with this hobby, and to see people stressing about a last minute this or that, that's all going to take care of itself when it needs to take care of itself. Follow your arrow wherever it points, and that's the best advice I could give anybody.
And have fun.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you're going to be cosplaying, you have to have fun. When it's no longer fun, then you shouldn't be cosplaying. Go do something else that's fun. That's the way I see it. And you're going to have frustrations.
Yes.
You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have things that are going to put you in the dumps. But, you always have to try to look at the bright side and have as much fun as you can with it. And you're a champ at that. You are always that one guy to cheer everybody up.
You know what? I really appreciate that. And if there's one other thing I could say, like that I could shout from the rooftops, I have taken, again, this is with event planning and stuff, things like dealing with difficult people, assertive communication, all that kind of stuff. My inbox, when I get home from a convention, there's somebody from another place that is messaging me about some hassle going on, some drama going on. And we like to throw around, oh man, when I hear I don't do drama, I don't do toxic people, this and that. And to me, it's just, that is an invitation. You're telling me right there, maybe you're not the best communicator if you're just cutting everybody off. And most of the stuff I'm seeing, because both sides of the story are coming to me and saying stuff, it is a 15-minute discussion or in real life over a cup of coffee, and online, you just turn it into a towering inferno of bullshit, and nothing good comes out of it. Get that person together in a room, find a mediator, and just talk it out. You guys, especially if a third person, or if you can look at it from humor. If I'm having problems with somebody and the drama or whatever, and you always picture like sitting across from them at a table and you're having negotiations, just picture it like you're taking that chair and putting it beside them, like you're two guys on the same baseball team, or two guys sitting and having coffee together and coming at it from, instead of me versus you, it's us versus the problem. And you're going to get, that'll be one of the best costumes you'll ever build, is the fact that you got through that stuff and you're not thinking about resentment, the anxiety that comes with it, all that other stuff. You get that crap out of the way, and your mood will be better. You'll feel better about yourself. And when it's time to go and execute your Predator costume or your Loki costume or your Jareth or producer Jen with her fabulous hair, that's got to take time to do. Like when you get onto those projects, like bang, that's all you have to worry about is that one, right? You're not thinking about all these other stresses and stuff like that. And man, it's just, there is a real life element to this. And unfortunately it's lost behind a Spider-Man mask sometimes, right? Just some food for thought.
Yeah, behind a Spider-Man mask, behind a screen and a keyboard. I mean, it's yeah, you're right. 100%. 100%. Hey guys, we really need to cut this off because now we're really beyond our timeline. I want to make sure to thank everybody that's been hanging out with us today. We had quite a few people in and out. We had a lot of people stick with us throughout the whole show. So folks, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you want to get in touch with Kid, make sure you go check it out again. Kid Remington everywhere, as well as Can Cosplay Cards.
Yep.
If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't already clicked the like button, please click the like button. It really helps. It really helps propagate our podcast through the YouTube sphere. And if you're not following us, if you're not subscribed to the channel, come on, guys. It costs you nothing. And it'll always make sure you get notified every time we upload a video or go live. Kid, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
Like I said, I can't wait for you to be back in town. I don't know if we're going to be anywhere near you in the next year, but believe me, if we are, we'll definitely let you know.
I hope so. I love you guys. I love your whole team so much. And just what you guys do. And you guys believe in yourselves, man. And you guys want to make everything happen. And I love that because the visualization, if you can visualize it, you're already there. Like, and you guys do. You guys have such great plans. And I'm excited to see where things go next.
Thank you, buddy. We love you too. Guys, I think that'll be it for this week. I'm not going to tell about what's going to go on next week, but I think because we didn't get a chance to talk about London Comic Con, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth next week. Keep an eye on our Instagram. There's going to be a lot of information coming out about where we are on the floor plan, et cetera, et cetera. That's all going to be coming out over the next couple of days. So that's it for now. Make sure you stay geeky, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.